I didn't have any problems. And I think the only reason that we didn't have any problems is because my partner, Jude Hagan, started this journey 14 years before we got to Live Oak. And she went up to Live Oak with Kitty Potterpower, who is our executive producer, and they already started knocking on doors 14 years ago. And they asked questions, and they waited on door stoops for interviews that were promised to them, and people didn't show up, and they would stay until those people came home at night. And they'd be angry to find Jude still sitting there on their stoop waiting for that conversation. But then when they listened to what she was saying, which was basically, we didn't want to make a film which was a judgment. We wanted to make a film that gave a voice to everybody who had been impacted and experienced a terrible tragedy in a town that, if this had not happened, nobody would have heard of. And both black and white suffered in this terrible, terrible tragedy. Many people don't equate Florida as a state that has anything to do with the Southern civil rights movements, and yet it was a huge part of the Southern civil rights movement. And as our darling Lois Miller over there said to me when we interviewed with her, she said, it is not a good idea to live in your past, but you cannot move forward into the future until you know the truth about the past. And that is what we tried to do with this film, is to teach students and generations today about the truth of where they are today, of what people had to go through, of what people had to suffer in order for them to have the freedoms that they have today.